You think gravity is just lower in Northfield, and so that's why time is slower there?
They cut the hard line. There's no time. You're going to have to get to another exit.
See a set of keys around here.
No time for love, Dr. Jones.
No time for podcast.
I can't be bothered with that. I have no time for that sort of nonsense.
I told Dex I'd play some Lego Marvel with him tonight. So
play some what?
Lego Marvel.
Lego
like
Marvel.
The Lego superheroes.
Excellent. That's good dad stuff. That's good dad shit right there.
That's good bonding. That's the easy stuff that just keeps on giving.
I agree. I have a kid taking a shower right behind me right now, and it's super loud.
Yeah, is it? Yeah, we had laundry going. That's right next to my office, so that's loud.
You know,
They don't really insulate the interior walls super well here.
You should probably have taken care of that when you were building.
Yeah, we never built a house from the ground up. Now we know.
Now you know what to do with your forever home.
Mm-hmm. Next one.
Next one. Your next forever home. Oh, they have finished. I was gonna play some Van Weezer for you, but someday I got to figure out how to do the sharing, do more active stuff.
Nice. Yeah, I had no idea about Van Weezer. That's cool. I'll have to hunt that down.
Apparently, the wife texted me. Bob Saget died, so you're sad now.
Yeah, my wife texted me the same thing.
Do we have the same wife? Is that how this is working?
I don't know. What does yours look like?
Brunette.
Uh-oh.
Went to the U of M.
Uh-oh. Mama Bear? Mama Bear tendencies?
Is what's your over-under that Jeremy shows up to the third part of the...
I'm not taking that bet.
Last time he showed up, so I'm like...
He'll be here.
I'm totally on the fence at this point.
The 5 minutes is going to be a stretch with him, but
this is a 7:36. I don't remember when we had told him 5 minutes.
It was like 7:27, 7:26.
It's not great, Dan. Not great.
Minutes are running a little bit differently down in Northfield, apparently.
Well, we could start and then pretend like he's here.
You think gravity is just lower in Northfield, and so that's why time is slower there?
Well, technically, it's in the valley. I mean, you're from the valley.
I've read a little bit about that and how gravity affects time. It's interesting. So maybe that's what's going on. I don't know.
That could definitely be. What did you have on your TV series of all time?
What did I have? So with that, I called Jeremy. Oh, never mind. This is tough. If I was going to limit it, I got Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Sure, yeah. We talked about, yeah. You guys love that shit.
I like that show a lot. Parks and Rec.
I gotta, from the previous episode, I gotta listen to or at least watch the episodes you guys talked about. I should watch a handful of them because I really enjoyed the show for 3-4 years. Maybe 5, maybe 6.
Wait, which show?
Always Sunny.
Oh, Sunny. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. They're
I watched most of Parks and Rec. I'm trying to remember where I tailed off. I also tailed off on The Office too. So I didn't make it through the non
the Office
Carell years.
I think I've seen pretty much all The Office. There might be a random episode here and there. I mean, Parks and Rec is way shorter. It's 5 seasons.
Oh yeah.
And the first season and the last season are half seasons, if that. So, but I love it. And then Luther, I really liked Luther from a dark.
Sure. Oh yeah, I love Luther.
Luther was amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing.
And then I don't know. I think
Connecting Audio.
Maybe Ozarks. I think Ozarks I really like a lot too.
Do you like it because
it's like Breaking Bad-ish. I like Jason Bateman a lot. Actually, that was another one that I probably could have put on there was Arrested Development.
Did you like the Netflix years of Arrested Development?
Not as much. I actually just rewatched seasons 1, 2, 3, I'm in 4. When I'm working, a lot of times at 4 o'clock, I'll just turn the TV on and throw something on the background that I've seen before and just do it that way. So that was one of them, and I'm in the middle of season or in the early part of season 4, which is one of the first Netflix season. So it's not as good, but they were also had obviously some constraints with people not being really 100% committed to doing the show, so people had to film it. Yeah. I'm sure the budget wasn't huge.
You also had Game of Thrones, and I really I enjoyed it much more, even at the end, more than most people probably. There's a lot of people that hated the last
4 seasons. Yeah, I mean, the last whatever really, or the last 3, whenever they went off the book completely, right, or after post the book parts. Yeah, there's a lot of people that couldn't it, but I thought it was okay. I just thought the epicness of it was awesome, right? To see it on the screen, and yeah, it wasn't a true adaptation, but that was okay for me. There's parts I didn't care for too, but
sure,
I didn't care for the ending, the way it was done. I thought that was. I don't think that's. But like leading up to that was.
Yeah. What would be the show that you thought like landed the ending the best that you could? Because we talked about Lost, we talked about Game of Thrones. Like, is there a show?
I think Breaking Bad was amazing. Like I thought the way they arc that thing was awesome. Right. It was. I don't know. And they still had to deal with the fact that they didn't know, at least early on, what they were how long it would be going. I've heard, I haven't seen it, and this is another one I want to watch, is 6 Feet Under. It's supposed to end amazingly, but I haven't seen that one.
So I watched, I think up to season 4, maybe. I think there's 6 or 7-ish seasons. I can't remember exactly, but I never made it all the way through. Like the first 3 at least I loved, and then didn't finish for whatever reason. Probably because we didn't have HBO the entire time and just kind of fell off. And then that was like the Netflix, DVD era where you get 1 or 2 a month. And so I never fully completed that, and Weeds, and like there's like 6 or 7 shows that are like that for me that I never fully finished. That probably should.
Yeah. Weeds is all right. It was, nothing like nobody's winning an Oscar on Weeds.
Nothing groundbreaking there, but yeah.
That's fun for shits and giggles.
Jeremy, what do you have for Hall of Fame other than X-Files of all time?
X-Files, that's a good call.
So X-Files is good, but 6 Feet Under, as you guys were saying, I did watch all of that, and it is one of the best programs ever been aired.
I heard it ended it ended amazingly. It's hard to start something up after you kind of moved on, but yeah.
So the weird thing for me with 6 Feet Under is people like Dexter now, and I'm sure Dexter is fine, but like that guy, the guy Dexter is the guy from 6 Feet Under to me.
Yeah.
Because he's the one brother. And so I've just never been able to get into Dexter because he's always been the guy from 6 Feet Under.
Yeah.
And so I was just never, Pete, your dad actually tried to get me to watch Dexter with him one time. I remember one time when I went up for Christmas one time, and he was like, "This show is amazing. Just watch this with me." And I was just
really?
like,
"Oh, that's funny." It was a good. It was the last couple were rough.
Okay,
it was all right.
Aren't there some new season Dexter right now?
There's a limited series.
Yeah.
For Showtime. Like I think it was literally meant to be a one-off.
And it literally, I think it literally ended a couple days ago, and people are like, like the Twitter verse is like, I need to talk about this, but I don't want to spoil it. So apparently it ended kind of.
For me, my shows DS9 was one of my top shows of all time.
What is that code for?
Deep Space Nine, Star Trek, Deep Space Nine. I absolutely love that show because it's about politics. It was such a weird concept for Star Trek to go into. Star Trek was an exploratory show. It's like the whole concept of Star Trek was that they're voyaging out in the unknown, and Deep Space Nine was like, well, we have this station that doesn't move, and we're just going to delve into the politics in the life of the universe that exists now, the politics of the Federation, and it was such an amazing show. I love DS9, and I love DS9 season 9 is such a it goes so quickly because it's so obvious in season 9 that they had planned 3 or 4 more seasons and then realized they were getting canceled. And then we're just like, all right, let's go. And they were just and they just plowed through entire seasons and episodes for the last 4 episodes. It was great.
Amazing.
But I love DS9. I'm also a big, I do really like the show How I Met Your Mother.
That was a good one too.
And I think the final episode, everyone hates, apparently worldwide, everyone hates the ending of that show. I thought it was great.
Everybody other on this podcast, we're all fans.
I have no problems with the way that show ended. I like that the whole concept and again, that was planned. At least that, and maybe not all the season in between, right? But that ending of that arc was totally planned.
Yeah, from the way that Ted looked at Robin in that first episode at the ending to
how could you not look at Robin that way? That's all.
Oh yeah, no, but to him coming back to her at the end with the blue horn, and they also hit me with the Walkman song, in that scene, which I love the Walkman. I almost fought the Walkman, but
is that a euphemism?
That's a story for another time.
No, that's a story for right now.
That's its own podcast.
Yeah.
All right.
You guys were both around when that story happened, so.
You fought the Walkman?
Well, the Walkman played the 400 bar.
Oh.
And they left the album with the song Louisiana on it. They left a whole box of records. I had it in my closet for 2 years. They came back. They were playing a show. It was the same night as Jack Tomczak's bachelor party, which we had at my house with strippers in my condo that used to be, near
Radio edit.
so we had strippers at my house. There's another story involved with that. Everyone else decided to go downtown. I decided to go to the show at the 400, and I believe, old man, you came to that show with me and Peter.
No, I did not. I went home early that night. That much.
Oh no, that's right. You took off.
I went to 400. Yeah.
You ran out. Peter ran out of the house, I believe, at one point to go take the light rail back. But old man came to the 400 with me to see the Walkman. I brought the box of records back. Gave them to the band. I had no money, which is why I didn't go downtown with the other guys. Why I went to the 400, because I was like, well, I can get free beers from my friend Joe, who's bartending, and see the Walkman play. Gave the box of records to the Walkman, and I picked up their new album, and I was kind of like, oh, this is your new album. I just brought you back a box of your old CDs. Here's your new album. I don't have any money, but I really want this copy of your new album. Hinting, the implication being, oh, you can just take that. They said, yeah, that's $12. And I maybe was out of line then and said some things. And
did you smash all the other things that you had kept for 2 years?
I might have thrown something. There were some things that happened. I got into it with the Walkman a bit, and then Tom, the owner of the bar, he came over to me and he's like, Jeremy, I love you. You're one of my favorite employees, but you can't get into altercations with bands that sell my bar out. And I was like, cool. And so I went to the bar and sat down, and I was sitting at the bar, super drunk, and this girl next to me started talking to me, and an old man again was there, and there was a couple other people from the party that had come to the show, and they were trying to talk to me, but I was like, no, this girl's talking to me, so I'm talking to this girl, and her name was Cody. And I ended up getting her phone number that night, and then called her, and then we ended up dating for a short period of time. And on our third date, we went out with friends, and she told the story about how she met me, which was at the night of the Walkman show. And she's like, well, this guy bought me a drink, and I'm sitting there, and I was like, well, I was super drunk that night, but I don't quite remember buying her a drink, but sure, I'll just go with it. And so I was like, yeah, no, I bought her a drink. That's great. And so then I went, Joe, who was my friend who bartended that night. I asked him, I remember asking him later, I was like, Joe, so Cody thinks I bought her a drink that night. And Joe was like, oh no, I mispoured a rum and Coke and didn't have anyone to sell it to. So I just gave it to that girl sitting next to you and said that you bought it.
It could have been the half dozen rum and Cokes that we had that entire night.
Yeah, so I dated a girl because Joe mispoured a rum and Coke.
Good job, Joe. Good job.
Good job, Joe.
Good Joe.
Good Joe. Everybody, good Joe.
I don't remember where that story started. Was Walkman related?
TV series, Ted. Yeah. Oh, the Walkman, because the Walkman were apparently in the last episode of. Yeah. So
How I Met Your Mother. Oh my God, that was a good leap. That was a weird leap.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's 18 steps in logic there, but we got there.
But TV shows, yeah. No. Also, I've heard
favorite character on How You Met Your Mother. Let's do it. Go for it. Who's your favorite?
Well, Barney. Yeah.
Barney is not your favorite.
No, he was.
God damn. Okay. So do you think Barney has
Marshall's second?
I don't know how to say this delicately. Does he remind you of John Tomczak at all? A little bit?
Yeah.
A tiny little bit.
I don't. No, not even a little bit.
Can you see it a little bit?
Oh,
it's just me. It's just me. Okay, never mind. So it's just me.
Oh, no, it's not. It's not a little bit. It's a lot.
Yes. Peter doesn't see it, but Jeremy, I'm
trying not to
see it.
No, I haven't talked to John in a bit, Jack in a bit, but he tried for a bit. Him and I tried to reconnect in the last couple of years, and we kept having these moments where I'd be like, I'm gonna call you, and he'd be like, all right, well, no, I've got my kids, or he'd be like, I'm gonna call me, he's gonna call me, but I was with Sarah at the time, and I was like, no, I got the girls. And but I think we also just didn't want to I love Jack. He's an old friend of mine, but I don't want to know his politics. And so I think that's some of why we didn't really connect. Is because
you don't listen to that podcast? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Well, we just don't want to piss each other off. We just don't want to yell at each other, for no, I want to retain the person that I cared about and not get into an argument.
I understand that.
Because we live in a world where you get into those fights now, and sometimes they're justified and sometimes they're not.
And sometimes they're just fun.
Sometimes they're just fun. But yeah, I mean, Peter knows. When I came for Christmas I told old man this earlier when Peter wasn't here, but when I came for Christmas, I asked Lucy, I said, can I just give you a hug and say hello, and let's just say hello and we love each other, and that's enough. That's all we have to do. We don't have to talk about our ideas, or we can just be two people that care about it.
That sounds impractical. Don't do that.
Unreasonable.
So, best of all time we're on TV is, how about movies? What do you got for me?
So Peter, I just ordered. It's due this week in the mail from Amazon. A DVD copy of Nail Gun Massacre.
What? So
Really?
somebody put that on DVD, huh?
Yeah, they put it on DVD. I have my VHS copy, but I don't have a VHS copy.
I have the ability to rip that VHS to DVD if you want.
Well, I don't know if it works anymore.
He wants the liner notes.
Yeah, he wants the director's notes. All right, I understand. So you were talking on some text thread about doing like a MST or riff tracks kind of thing, MST3K or riff tracks.
Yeah.
Should we watch Nail Gun Massacre as the first thing?
That's what started it, isn't it? Isn't that where it came from?
That's what I'm saying. Is that where we start? Is that what we watch and make fun of, or podcast?
I literally, I'm kind of, I don't want to admit this, but I spent $65 buying a DVD. It was the cheapest one I could find. It was the cheapest one I could find.
Probably used.
There are some out there that are over $300 for the DVD copy of Nail Gun Massacre.
Well, if that Stone Temple Pilot shirt I was looking for at the low end, it was $200. It makes sense.
The popsicle one was $200.
That was the cheapest version I could find.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it wasn't blue.
Not the blue even.
No, I think the one I found that was $200 was blue.
Wow.
Yeah. So people, anything that's old, that's out of print, man, people are going to push because they're idiots that'll spend, say $65 on a copy of the DVD. I'm just, political.
So Peter, what do you got for best movie? I want to do this Nail Gun Massacre riff track, but let's do that.
I've seen so many movies. I probably depends on my mood, but like for actual quality movies, like
quality. Yes, that's what we
Shawshank is up there. I love Shawshank. I always love The Princess Bride. That's one of my favorites. Going back, still rewatchable over and over for me.
What if you're going lowbrow? What do you got lowbrow?
Oh man, where do you? Probably there's multiple Will Ferrell movies from the early 2000s. Blades of Glory, Anchorman, Land of the Lost.
Oh my God, Land of the Lost. Fucking that is. That's
amazing. Good. Beer Fest. Major League. Oh, love it.
I think three.
There is no 2 or 3. It's just the first.
Technically, if I IMDb it right now,
there might be more. There might be. How about you?
Beer Fest should have the caveat: don't watch this movie sober.
It's amazing.
It's got Beer Fest in the title. You're not watching it sober.
Well, I watched it the first time sober and it was okay. And then the next time I watched it, I had like 2 beers in me. And I thought it was the best fucking movie I'd ever seen.
It's like watching Tombstone sober.
Yeah.
Not something you do.
Yeah, that I actually just happened to watch the last 40 minutes of Tombstone 2 nights ago. It was on TV. So
was hell coming?
Oh yeah, it was coming. Yep.
And he's coming with me.
No, just
shotgun massacre everybody in sight.
Walking into a barrage.
Just walking almost on top of water, but across creeks and just.
That was good stuff.
And then he, is at the bedside of his friend.
Poor Doc.
Yeah. I'm a sad person, so Empire VHS, watching it with my dad and my brother. That's probably the best movie. We rented a VHS player and a VHS, and that got me hooked.
It's not a bad one. Not a bad one at all.
We would over Thanksgiving weekends back in the early 90s, rent things, watch them, kind of so that's where Empire of the Three is probably. I mean, Ewoks, you can't pick that as. Mm-hmm. I kind of like sad endings, so Empire, the end. What's your favorite music of all time, Jeremy Bishop?
Scott Bondi.
Less Than Jake?
Yes, Less Than Jake and A. Bondi. But Less Than Jake first. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's a clear 1 and then 2.
Or Tom Petty. I mean, I really one of the few regrets of my life is never going to a Tom Petty concert with Steve Edgar.
One of my biggest regrets is never going to a Less Than Jake concert with Jason Edgar.
I don't get it.
We're gonna edit that out.
So Johnny A and I went to a Less Than Jake concert.
Oh, I've been to the Less Than Jake concert, but I was trying to be funny. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's a terrible experience. Terrible.
But also the best question mark?
When a band on stage says, "Hey guys, homework sucks."
Are they wrong?
They're not wrong, but you at the time as a 30-plus-year-old man are in the wrong place.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair.
Also, great story. Jeremy Bishop, best band you ever seen live. Hagfish or
Yeah, Diamond.
or
I still blame you for that goddamn Hagfish T-shirt.
or Homegrown.
No, Hagfish. I blame you for the Hagfish thing.
Do you still have the Hagfish T-shirt? That's the question.
Yeah, it's got ripped out armpits. The sleeves don't exist anymore.
How do you pick it up from anything else?
After this ends, you got to take a picture, send it to me.
Yeah.
High five.
Proof of life.
I don't know where it is. It's in a box.
Seems like a lie.
No, it's still around. I never threw it away. Sarah might have thrown it away, but I never threw it away.
We saw Save Ferris, Hagfish, Homegrown at what bar in Northeast?
Yeah, the place that has the fetish show afterwards, because the fetish started coming out.
Yeah. That was pretty great.
Ground Zero, I think.
Ground Zero. There you go. So what else you got for Peter? What do you got for best music of all time?
Oh man.
It does not include Yacht Rock. That does not count because you were not old enough.
Favorite.
You had to live through it. Fuck Yacht Rock. How dare I say that?
You had to live through it.
Guns N' Roses, Soundgarden, STP, Weezer. That would probably be the top 3-4.
I just want to say my kids want to see you do GNR karaoke at some point in their lifetime.
No, they don't.
Like it's been built up so high at this point.
They don't.
They really
They're
don't.
like they gotta see the personification of Axl Rose swaying to the music. I'm just saying.
So related, there was a video that my wife had posted on the Facebook of some 12-year-olds that did like a block party. They live performed at like a block party, Sweet Child of Mine, and they killed it. It was amazing.
But I got to see it in the early 2000s in the basement in North Minneapolis. With people like, this party is lame, what is going on? And then this blonde-haired Burke Martin took the stage. Burke took the stage and started to sway to the music, and Sweet Child of Mine, their fucking brains off.
I mean, I think it was still lame at the party, but at least they had a story.
Yeah, that's all you come for a party for, is to leave with a story.
Yeah.
Fuck those guys.
I tried to do both.
I told the story recently of, remember Rob, who lived upstairs?
Oh yeah.
And we went to that party at one of T. Meyer's houses, and he was wearing rings, and he's like, if I ever ask you to hold my rings, it's because I'm getting in a fight. And we like went to the party, and we were there. Like, I don't think we both even had a beer yet. Like, I think you had a beer, but I was still waiting to like go get my beer. And Rob came over and he's like, hold my ring. We're like, oh my God, we just got here.
It's 3 minutes into this party. God damn it.
Oh, I distinctly recall that as well. Yeah. It's like, what just happened? I'm also my face is my livelihood, so I'm going to maybe get out of the way.
We could do a whole podcast about Rob's song.
And I do have to drop by.
I've got more stories for another time.
Well, yeah, I have to hop off. It's up to you guys if you want to keep going, or we can do a supplemental just to get through the last few topics.
Yeah, we can get back together at some point, or
yeah, we can just try to literally do like a half hour to wrap up, put a bow on.
Sounds good.
Maybe we can just make it more of a two-part. Well, I don't know how you do that now. Too many topics. Be an editing nightmare.
Where did we leave off? Movies? Music. All right. All right.
Yeah, we'll just close out for tonight then.
Okay. Sorry guys, but good chatting as always.
Sounds good.
All right. Later, boys.
Salute.
Bye.
We'll talk about you after you leave.
Yep, perfect.
So
we can talk about it now.
Yeah, this is where we're at right now.
Bartleby.
God damn it, Bartleby.
Yeah, no, I'll probably go.
That sounds good. What do you think about Peter's best of so far? You have any opinions?
It's a very Peter best of.
Does that hurt?
No, it's a very what I expected Peter's best of.
Do you want to recant the hagfish story since we're here? I'd love to hear it.
I love the hagfish story. Like that's one of my.
It is the most ridiculous story of all time.
I do want to find that shirt somewhere. I do remember, from what I recall of the story, is at the urinal in the bathroom next, asking what is that band's name, and you saying it's Hagfish.
And the guy from Homegrown taking a leak next to us saying, I don't think it's Hagfish.
Yeah. Yeah, and then me buying the T-shirt based off of that interaction.
But their T-shirt was better than Homegrown's T-shirt.
It was. It makes me think though back to like I remember when I was 16 or 14 maybe, and I was in Colorado with my mom. We were in Vail, Colorado for a work conference, and she gave me $14. She gave me a $20 bill and said, "Go buy a T-shirt." I bought a $14 T-shirt, which was the Calvin and Hobbes T-shirt, and she's like, "Well, why'd you buy this? That's not a Vail, Colorado." And I was like, "I'll always remember this shirt from Vail, Colorado," and that's what I think of the Hagfish T-shirt. It's like I'll always remember, even though it's the wrong shirt, it's the right memory.
I do remember Save Ferris being like decent during like I remember because we were 18 plus being like in the catwalks up there.
Yeah, we were upstairs.
We were upstairs because, you know, we're adults. The funny thing is I worked in the building next door for God knows almost like half a decade above the Bulldog, above whatever bar was there when we were in college, across from Yeah, I worked on the second and third floor of that building for different companies.
Yeah, that was when you were kind of working for like the .com bubble stuff.
Yeah. And so I got to meet that guy who owned Ground Zero, and he was the weirdest MFer of all time. Like he had squirrel traps on the roof, and we had like young developers that would go and like release the squirrels because they didn't watch them, you know, die in the traps and stuff. And he was a strange fellow. He opened up a bar on the one side of Ground Zero there.
Yeah. What was the name of that bar? Yeah.
But it was only open for like, you know, Friday, Saturday, Sunday kind of. Oh, what else you got? Anything?
So I'm out of work not out of work. I'm off for the next week.
Yeah.
Because I basically told my boss I need a $20,000 raise or I quit.
Nice.
And they didn't give it to me right away. So I said, well, I'm taking a week off.
So what do you want to do for the next week? What do you want to do? Let's do it.
We'll see what happens. Yeah. No, I'm cleaning the house. I'm okay. Like if I lose my job, I've got enough money in savings that. But
well, let me know. I'll come down. we'll rage in some Northfield.
We'll tear up the co-op.
Well, you know, they'll be like, who robbed this bank? Jeremy, an old man robbed this bank.
But yeah, no, I'm interested to see what happens. So it's an interesting time in life.
I hear you.
And,
so you want to do some olive oil shots?
Yeah. The olive oil. I am still just blown away that place exists.
Yeah,
like I think it's great. Like I buy olive oil from them all the time. But like, how does that exist? How is that a real thing?
So I walked in there not knowing jack shit about it, right? Because you know I'm not an olive oil connoisseur of any sort. And I'm like, what's your best sellers? And the lady points over, you see those giant vats of olive oil that are bigger than all the rest of them? Those are our best. I'm like,
the ones we have more of. Yeah.
I'm like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And she's like, what would you like to sample? I'm like, well, I'm more of a vinegar guy. I'm like, there's, you know, that whole other side, but the wife wants olive oil. So I'll be taking shots of olive oil.
Yeah, no, I'm okay. I mean, my house is paid off now, so
that's good.
I'm good with that. You know, I mean, I still have bills. Obviously, I got the dog. I just don't know what I don't know. I kind of want to get out of Northfield. I kind of want to sell my house, but it's also a weird market right now, so I don't want to.
Yeah.
You know,
where would you go?
I could sell my house for a ton of money right now, but then I have to buy a house.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you have any idea where you'd go if you would sell your place?
Oh, I'm crazy now, so I'd go into the wood.
Even further?
Yeah, I'd go
deep
further.
in the woods.
Yeah, I'd go further.
so good.